What's going on, gang? Today we're going to be talking about the economic collapse news, the ideas, the proof, the points that are not being made in stream media, in your average local TV show. Okay. And what are some of those points? Well, the very first thing is that government debt is high, corporation debt is high, state debt is high, citizen debt is high. There's right now in Illinois, Chicago, I think I might have messed up on the city. Can't remember exactly. I read a couple of days ago that the local city, it doesn't matter, but the local city is going bankrupt um, in that city, and because of so much debt they have. Now, if you look at to all government agencies throughout America for unfunded securities like pensions, like to the firefighters, to the students, teachers, students, to the teachers, someone has to pay for this stuff, and there's not enough people. As more and more people retire, less and less people are getting good paying jobs. I know so many people that have college degrees, but they have two jobs. Okay, they're not able to make ends meet, especially in the states where, like Chicago, California, those states, they're going to have three jobs. So someone with a college degree may have two or three jobs just to make ends meet. That's why we're having a worldwide right now civil unrest. Maybe they're not showing it to you on your TV station. For example, if you look at France, we have what's called the Yellow Vest movement. The Yellow Vest movement. These people have college degrees in their own country, and they're being taxed to death. Cost of fuel is so expensive, and cost of living is so expensive. Even though they have jobs, they're not able to make ends meet, and they're marching. We have right now the same story happening in Iraq. We have right now the same story happening in Haiti. Well, right now we have the same story happening to some of the states in Latin America, like Argentina, so on. So there's a situation that a lot of these corp- corporations and governments and countries subscribe to central banking debt, and now they're upside down, and their people are revolting. They're marching on the streets. They're tired of paying all this money. Okay, and these are things, the dots, they're not being pronounced in your average media. If it's stream, if it's TV, if it's the news, they're not pointing the dots. That we have unfunded liabilities. We are having a massive separation from middle class and working class. Majority of people have their money in banks, which are have laws made in their favor because they're the elite, and they buy the lobbyists, and the lobbyists buy the politicians to make laws to bail in on the average American's banking account. Because when me or you, we deposit our money into a checking or a saving, we're thinking that it's our money, but it's really not. It's the bank's money, and we're just an unsecure creditor. Again, unsecure creditor, not even a secure creditor. Okay, we're at the bottom of the bottom. So if the business go bankrupt, if the banks go bank belly up, we're at the bottom of the bottom toll of getting some kind of compensation for them actually having their hands in our money system. Okay, now guys and ladies, We talked about a little bit about unfunded liabilities. We talked about so much debt that's going on from corporations, the local people, governments at all stages. Now, we also have to be looking about the actual numbers they use for the employee rate. They say right now that this is the best time when unemployment is, very, very low. But the numbers are cooked. The way they formulate the numbers are cooked. And please fact check these things that I'm saying. Don't just take my word for it. I want you to be a stupid individual and think for yourself. So fact check this stuff. Say, hey, is this idea? Let me go check this out. Are banks doing bail-ins? Can bail-ins happen in America? Can banks take our money? Am I an unsecured creditor? Hey, is this happening? Is the yellow vest really happening in France, like Mike says? And why is there people doing this? Is there this going on? And fact check this stuff, because then you'll start realizing that, hey, you know, you'll have it enlightened for yourself. Okay. So there's a lot of different problems that are happening at one time, and really no one's talking about it. Another problem that's very, very severe, but no one's really talking about it, is that the banks are getting bailed out as we speak. Today is like October 5th, if I'm not mistaken, and the banks are getting $75 billion a day till October 10th. And this has been happening for a while now. Not million, but $1 billion a day, 75 billion a day. We don't even know what banks they are because the Fed is private. They don't get audited. So these are the things that are not being brought up to the attention for the average person. And if they are, it's quickly dusted. And people know more about celebrities' life than what's going on with the money they have in their 401s, or what's going on with their retirements, or what's going on with the dollar, what's going on with, you know the friction going on in the Middle East with Iran and Saudi Arabia, and how that can affect us, because Saudi Arabia just got 50% of their oil productions knocked out with the Haiti, not Haiti. I can't remember that the top of my head. I'm freestyling. But what that does is that it causes the price of gas to go up. Okay. Now we say now in America we're producing our own gas, but our friends, our allies in Europe are not. Okay, so they depend on that Middle East gas. So prices are going up. I just said that there's been, you know, yellow vest movement, and people cannot already pay. They're already marching on the streets. When these things happen, it's just gonna, you know, inflame the whole idea more. Okay, it's not gonna make it more pleasant for those people in France or for people in Germany, etc. Now, the other thing we have to think about is that there's so much derivatives, which is basically bets between banks all over the world that are use the same idea of central banking fractional reserve. And for example, in Germany, Deutsche Bank is very close of busting. They're losing him. They're losing business. They've been busted for money laundering. Um, their stocks are coming down significantly. And the crazy thing is that once they go bankrupt, or if they did go bankrupt, it's going to do a domino effect and take out other banks. That some of those banks could be the banks in America, which are, the big Fortune 500 banks, the too big to fail, the ones that fell last time, the 2006 time that we had to bail them out. Okay. So what does that mean? Well, for an investor like myself, I see great opportunities, because real estate is going to be very, very cheap. There's going to be a lot of motivated sellers out there, what I call subject to heaven, where sellers are willing to become your bank and finance the deal for you. Businesses are going to be on sale. Stocks are going to be on a deep discount. A lot of different assets are going to be, priced way better than what they are today. And thanks to the Fed, they're constantly blowing these assets up, and that's why we're having the crash that we're having today. Okay, and a lot of people are going to be hurting. The middle class, the working class, they're going to be hurting. Why are they going to be hurting? Because they have majority of their money in 401s, because they have majority of their money in banking accounts. And like I said, the banks are getting bailed out by the Fed, $75 billion a day, every day. Okay. Um, these assets like the stock market is extremely volatile right now and it's gone up so much. Real estate has gone up in some states like doubled in 10 years, guys. So if you had a $400,000 home, now it's worth $800,000. Okay. uh, in Las Vegas, same exact thing is happening in Colorado. So these assets are going to deflate, in my opinion, not financial advice, and a lot of people are going to get hurt. Not only are corporations going to get hurt, not only the middle class, working class are going to get hurt, governments are going to get hurt. A lot of these governments are into these stocks. They're gonna lose significant amount of money, and banks are probably going to bail in because last time we bailed them out, and there's a good chance that we may have negative interest rate. I brought to you guys that there's already negative interest rate in Europe on mortgages. And what does that mean? That the bank's gonna depends. If you're getting a mortgage, the bank's gonna pay you. If you are buying, if you're putting your money into a savings, then you're gonna have to pay the bank to hold your money. And I'm not talking about just the bank fees, the monthly statement fees. Now you gotta pay them 2 or 3% or 5% just every month for them to hold your money. And remember, back in the days in America, there was a situation where banks would pay you 6%, 7%. So if you had $1 million in the bank, you were getting a good dividend, and inflation was not as high as it is today. So that said, there's a lot of rocky things going around that they're not talking about, or if there's one idea here, one idea here, they're not putting it together, like pensions, like massive debt from corporations to local to the average citizen. Um, Inflation like crazy coming in. They're not calling it QE again. Right now, there was a bank to bank run. They're bailing out the banks, but they're not calling it a QE. They're not calling it what they called it before by a word, but they're doing the same exact thing. And this is just the beginning of it. Okay. The unemployment numbers are cooked because they don't consider people that are stopped looking for jobs and so on. Okay. When you put it all together, creates a great opportunity for anyone that's an entrepreneur. And for a lot of good Americans, this is going to be a big hard time for them. In my opinion, that financial advice, they're going to lose a lot of money in their 401s and their equities in their homes, and uh, and possibility banks reaching in and taking their money in their market accounts or CDs or savings or checkings. Now, a lot of people think, "Oh man, Mike's bullshit. Banks are not going to bail in." Well, please do your research. And a lot of people think, "Oh man, there's the FDCI or whatever it's called, where you put your money in the bank and the government agency insures it." But the problem is that department that insures, they only have like 1% of all the depositors in America. So 1%. So if one bank fails, okay. But if there's multiple banks that fail at one time, they're not going to have that much funds to cover everything. They have less than 1% of all depositors in America. So everyone that has their money into their banking accounts, they're not going to have the money to fork over. And we're on a debt system and we're just constantly printing money. So the side effect is that your grandparents, your parents have saved money, they worked hard. Now they still have the same amount of money in their banking account or in their retirement, but that money buys a lot less milk, buys a lot less gas, buys a lot less whatever. Okay. uh, and we're at the stage that we are a welfare warfare state where we are just welfaring the farmers. Like, I brought to you guys on my channel that we're giving $16 billion to farmers. So we've done it where we killed free trade, we killed commerce with sanctions and tariffs, and now the farmers can't, farmers of America cannot make a living, and so me and you are bailing them out with our tax dollars versus allowing them to make a living because no one wants to hand out. Everyone wants to make their own living, right? I mean, I'm sure there's some people that are just deadbeats and they want to get a handout, but I don't think you become a farmer because you're a deadbeat. You're just a hard worker. You love what you do, and you take honor in it. And a lot of these guys cannot sell their crops because of the China tariff and sanctions and other situations. So we're creating a lot of welfare people. There's a lot of unfunded liabilities from teachers, firefighters at many levels, federal and state, and it's going to be crazy, but also great opportunity, guys. Great opportunity. One thing I want to say, guys, is that I'm about to be a dad, and I feel blessed, and thanks to you guys for watching and supporting me since 2013. And so, what I want to do is to feel that blessing and share with you guys. So, I'm offering 80% off of all my products at myrealestatedojo.com. So, myrealestatedojo.com. Well, I shouldn't say all my products, my best selling products are 80% off right now at My Real Estate Dojo. There's a limited supply while supplies last, guys. Okay. Going back to the story, why do I think there's great opportunities? Because if anyone that wants to buy businesses, so if you want to buy a business, instead of starting a business, buying all the infrastructure, the capital, you can buy a business that's not managed right. Okay, not financial advice, but if I was going to start a business or buy a business, the best time to buy a business is in a crash because some people have a great business idea, they just didn't, plan correctly. They plan for expansion, which is normal, versus being needy and tight and be very profitable. But it's a good business. But when the credit dries up, which it will, credit cards will shrink, line of credits will shrink, um, home mortgages will shrink, and when these things happen, these small businesses and even big businesses like right now, 21 there's a girl store in the mall. I remember when I was in high school, 21 Forever or Ever 21 or something like that. They're filing bankruptcy, and the amount of debt they have is just crazy. So a lot of these stores, a lot of these businesses you see are just heavily indebted, dude. Like from GNC to Ford. I mean, they're just like so indebted you wouldn't even believe it. They're just getting bank money to make payments, to for the employees' paychecks, guys. So that's what I'm saying. They're not talking about this stuff, but if you follow the bankruptcy of, you know, Sears or Payless or a lot of big corporations are letting off people, and it's just not being broadcasted. But it creates great opportunities because, for example, for me, it might be a great time for me to buy a business where there's an infrastructure there, there's a blueprint there, there's a customer base there. Just the guy has mismanaged, and it's a great opportunity because he's going to be motivated. No one's going to be trying to buy a business at that time. Okay. Now, what about moving? And moving business will be a great business too because a lot of people are going to be losing their homes, and if you're a mover that is a budget friendly, a value based, then you're going to make a lot of money because when people lose their home, they got to move from houses to apartments. Okay, someone has to move them. The van lines, which is the big companies, they're going to charge a lot of money. So, and and moving companies very very great. A loan modification. If you do loan mods, if you do short sales, okay, those are gonna be very, very prosperous seasons. If you're an agent that knows how to work with bank-owned properties, then you're gonna do really, really good because there's gonna be a lot of bank-owned properties. But the average real estate agent that's working with sellers, they're gonna starve very, very, very soon, if not already coming, unfortunately. Um, Jamie, so true. I see it unfolding in my industry. What industry are you in, Jamie English? Thanks for leaving the comment. Okay. Someone asked on Instagram, um, what products do I have, guys? I have like 20, 30 products are like 80% off, guys. So you go check it out at myrealestatedojo.com. I have everything from cold calling, owner financing, subject twos, flyers, email follow up series, everything you can imagine that I sell for top dollars right now. You can download it instantly, no delay, at 80% off, guys. Okay, good point. All right, guys. One of two other things I wanted to talk about is what's going on with Bitcoin, guys. It looks like Bitcoin's taking a beating right now. Um, in the short term, it looks like it's going to go down. I don't know if it's going to go up or down in the short term, but in the long term, I'm definitely bullish on it. And I know people are going to hate me on it, but I hope it does crash. It goes down to $1,000 or $2,000 because I want to buy more. Okay, and then I know in the long term, I'm betting. I don't have a crystal ball. I don't know, but I am betting on it. I see a lot of fundamental uh, slave freeing assets coming from Bitcoin. What do I mean? We're able to eliminate the bankers, okay, the middleman. We're el- eliminating the separation from the state, it's Big Brother, and finances, okay? Because before we had state and religion together, then we separated state and religion. Now we don't have so much holy wars anymore, even though we have a whole lot of wars in America, right? But we call it democracy. But that's a different story. Now what we're seeing is the separation from the state and the monetary system. And what that's going to do is empower the everyday person because everyone can become their own bank. And there's no more information about the printing of money because Bitcoin is limited versus fiat, where they're just printing it out and they're inflating it and they're diluting the waters, guys. Okay, which decreases our purchasing power. So Bitcoin fundamentals are great for me because again, it's going to eliminate a lot of middlemen from title companies to attorneys to banks to MoneyGram, Western Union, all that stuff, and Visa, PayPal, all that stuff, which is going to be great and is going to be the best thing that that has happened to humanity because everyone can have a bank now. There's not going to be unbanks. There's not going to be middleman. There's not going to be delays when you cash your check. You got to wait 7 days or 14 days. If you close a title company, you make $300,000. You got to wait 14 days for it to clear. No, as soon as it hits your account or your wallet, it hits very, very quick. So that's the crazy cool thing about it. And then you have the chargebacks you don't have to deal with, which is great. So Bitcoin for sure is going to be the future, in my opinion, not financial advice, because not only is it the network like Visa and MasterCard, but it's also the money. So it's the money and the network together. And the best thing is no one owns it. It's decentralized, which is not going to be censored, which means not going to be able to be edited. Guys with costumes and guns cannot show up and demand, you know, money, extractions, whatever. Um, and I think it's the future. So right now it's taking a hit, and so I think it's a great buying opportunity for me. I'm looking forward to crash a little bit more so I can buy more. Okay. Now, one other thing I was going to talk about is Facebook coin, guys. Facebook coin is coming out with their coin called Libra coin, and I talked about it before. But one thing that's really funny is that PayPal just decided to leave that organization, even though they had paid them, I think, $10 million to be a node holder, which means that they're just going to process their information. Okay, that's crazy. And Visa and Mastercard are part of the Facebook Libra, but what seems to happen is that Facebook was trying to launch, and there's a lot of government agencies, big brothers, that are objecting to it, like America, like Germany, and some other countries. And so it seems like PayPal just wanted to leave that situation. Uh, but I think that in the future, that Facebook will be the Federal Reserve of the world because they have so much customers. Now, I think, do I think that's the best thing? No, I don't think so. I think Bitcoin's way better than, Facebook coin, because imagine how Facebook is. They already use you and abuse you. They sell your information. Now, they're also cool because they're able to connect with us, with me and you. But at the same time, they sell your information, so it's hard to trust them, right? Where Bitcoin, no one owns it. There's no corporations. There's no CEOs. There's no other benefits between being a coin and the network. So that's why I don't like Facebook Libra. I wouldn't use it. But I think that it could be beneficiary to Bitcoin because it'll ramp people up. It could be an introduction to cryptocurrencies, guys. Jamie, thanks for letting me know you're in the tech business. So, do you have it? Do you have any Bitcoins? I got some other questions. If you guys have any questions, you can leave it below. I'll be happy to answer it for you. Okay, so someone says, okay, what courses do I have? Okay, just go to My Real Estate Dojo. They're 80% off. Um, right off the top of my head, if I'm freestyling it, you got my VA course where I teach you how to hire people in third world countries, have them work for you for 75 cents an hour, 75 cents an hour. And they do stuff like cold calling, they do filtering, they do giving offers, and in this course, I have the manuals, I have the training course, the contracts, the bonuses, where to find them, etc. It's a 7, 8 hour course. It's a complete course. It's revolutionary, and right now you can get it for 325 versus 1,500 bucks. I have again my email follow up series. Normally I sell it for 500 bucks. Now you can get it for like 97 bucks. There's so much stuff out there. Just go to My Real Estate Dojo and then follow the link. Click on it, and you guys can get it. There's only limited amount of supplies. After that, the price is going up. It'll never come back down to this price ever again. The only reason I'm having it for this price is, again, I'm having a kid, and so I want to celebrate the joy with you guys and let you guys profit on the crash that we're already in. They're just not telling it to you on TV. Uh, Jamie said that she sold her bitcoins when she saw it tank, and that's pretty normal because that's what everyone does. See, the difference between me is that when it tanks, I start buying more instead of selling. Okay, same thing with real estate. Like right now, real estate's starting to tank, and fix and flippers are not making money, so they're not going to get into the game again. Okay, but now I'm going to be buying the properties while it's tanking because no one's going to be want to buying it. Okay, once it comes back up, when it becomes like 2016, 2015, we're at the top of the market. That's the time that I will dump. So, but now the problem with Bitcoin versus real estate is that Bitcoin is speculation, right? And speculation means that I can't control it. Where with real estate, I can control it. I'm in a driver's seat. When I buy a house, I can control how much equity I buy. I can control if it makes monthly cash flow or not. And so when I buy Bitcoin, I can't do anything. I just got to hold on to it and huddle to it and hope that it's going to go up, right? Because I believe in the fundamentals of it. Okay, so Bitcoin speculation, where real estate, I'm in control. Now, I don't control the market. The market can go up, can go down, can go sideways, but it doesn't matter because when I buy is when I make my money. If it's a I'm a landlord, so what I'm looking for if it's going to cash flow. So if I buy it, can I make money today? Can I make 500? Can I make $700 a month positive? Great. If I can make that today, positive cash flow, I don't care if the market goes down. I will continue getting the positive cash flow. I'll wait for the market to come up, guys. Anyways, guys, thanks for watching. I'll see you at My Real Estate Dojo. Capitalize on the 80%. I'm going to buy more when it goes down a little bit more. Not financial advice, Jamie, but you should do your own due diligence. Bitcoin is a really, really risky asset, guys, and you can lose all your money. So, I'm not trying to tell you what to do. I'm just telling you what I'm going to be doing. Thanks, guys. See you later.